Radzi and Ken here for day 3 of the Champion of Champions. But before we get into any discussion whatsoever, here's what happened yesterday.
Tuesday played host to Group 2 of the 888 Sport Champion of Champions, and the first match saw snooker's ultimate champion of the last 2 years, Judd Trump, take on Masters winner Stuart Bingham. And the ace was well and truly in the pack and amongst the balls, the Juddernaut winning 4-0 as Bingham struggled to make the balls run. An electric walk-on lit the touch paper for Dave Gilbert, who struck breaks of 108 and 83 for a 2-0 lead in the first 20 minutes. Magician Murphy was struggling with his new tricks. 3 times he missed the pack at the break, and despite a fight back, he lost 4-2, Gilbert advancing to face Trump in the group final. The first 4 frames were shared, but centuries either side of the interval meant Trump led 3-2 after 5, and he continued his incredible form, winning 6-3 with a record-equalling 5 centuries.
125. $131.
If he pots this, takes some doing, really. Goodness, he has, hasn't he?
What a performance from Judd Trump there, Ken. But let's go back to the beginning. First of all, 2 matches that got us to that point, and let's kick off with Trump.
Trump against Bingham. Yeah, I mean, I'm disappointed with Stuart Bingham. I've not seen him play or miss so many chances like that for quite some time. And I think even Judd was a little bit surprised. Yeah, it's just one of those days, I think, that he had. You know, you just sort of scratch it off and say, you know, I missed a few and that was it, and I got punished. But Trump played, you know, magnificently well. And what about the other match? You know, Dave Gilbert against Sean Murphy as well. That was a classic. That
was so good. On the face of it, number 12 in the world, number 6 in the world, you would have said Murphy, but it just wasn't to be. Dave was there all the way.
Yeah, he got off to a great start, didn't he? Murphy missed a few as well. It was a little bit edgy in the beginning. Made a fight back, and then missed a straightforward pink in the last. And then, of course, Dave got in and cleared the table. But I think the evening session was all about yesterday. What a great match. What a great performance by Trump. I mean, he missed the pink to go 2-1 up. And I thought, oh, here we go. You know, like he's missed a few. Maybe Dave, now is the time for Dave to get on top of him. And all of a sudden he goes bang, 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 bang. What did he make? 4 centuries in the next 5 frames?
Right, unbelievable.
Yeah.
And 5 out of the 6 frames that he won, I mean, it is incredible. And the fact that he can do it so well in the long format, do it in the short format, how does he manage it?
It's brilliant. I mean, his scoring power now is like, it's just gone up a notch. And, you know, the amount of centuries he's got, I mean, I think he's up to like 740 centuries, something almost like that. But he's still only, what is he, 30?
Right, 31, you know, I think.
So he's got 15 years on Ronnie O'Sullivan, who has over 1,000 centuries. So he's only really 300 behind. In 15 years, he could have like another 1,500 centuries, you know. So it's like remarkable the amount of centuries that he's torn. And the likes of Robertson as well. You know, their scoring power is just incredible stuff.
And when we think that 800 gets you second, that's where John Higgins is right now,
yeah.
it truly is remarkable.
Yeah.
But what's going to surprise you is, let's say, the nonchalant way in which Judd Trump responded to what we think is a pretty special win.
Judd, 5 centuries in the best of 11, that's pretty smoky.
Yeah, I think it wasn't sort of my best snooker, but the scoring was there. It may be a little bit flattering when you make century breaks. It makes you feel like you played a bit better than you have. I felt good towards the end though. I felt every time I got in towards the end, I was going to score heavy. Not so much at the start, I was just sort of winging it, getting through. And I was able to stay with him towards the start because I think he was probably a little bit of the better player at the start. But lost a big frame to go 2-1 down, I think, and kind of spurred me on that day. I didn't want to make any more mistakes like that because Dave's a great player. He's obviously looking for a bit of confidence, and you don't want to be giving him them easy chances. So, in the end, very happy with how I finished the match out, and obviously nice to make 5 centuries. It's not often that happens.
Since the 2018 Northern Ireland Open, you've won 11 tournaments, 10 ranking events and the Masters. It's been a golden spell, but the Champion of Champions has so far eluded you. Presumably, you want to get this one on your CV.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get this one out of the way, and then people can stop mentioning this one like the World and the Masters a couple of years ago. Yeah, it'd be nice to sort of win every event, and then everyone starts saying you've got to win it for the second time now. So it's an amazing tournament. It's an amazing setup here. everyone has done a brilliant job with the setup out there. I think it looks amazing, and people behind the scenes are taking sort of the arenas to the next level. And even though there's no crowd, it's still sort of nice to look around and see the effort that goes into it. And perhaps that's probably why you see people playing so well, because Neil yesterday made a lot of centuries. I did today. It's probably just the arena, the surroundings that kind of spurs you on to play well.
We can't wait for the semi-final. Well done today.
Thank you.
Ken, can you please talk us through that? Because what I was expecting Trump to say, I think everyone is,
Yeah.
absolutely pumped. 5 centuries in my 6 winning frames, 6 centuries overall yesterday.
Yeah.
But he doesn't feel like that.
He's not happy at all, is he? In some way, in a bizarre way, it's quite good to hear, because he feels that he can play better, you know? I mean, we haven't seen better from him, because he's never made 5 centuries in a best of 11 before. So this is the first time, and he's equalled my fellow countryman and practice partner, Fergal O'Brien, who he won't be happy about his record. He wanted that record to stay. But he's never done that before, so it's a first for him. So if he has played better than that, we haven't seen it in a best of 11. However, what I would say is, it's good to see that he's still not happy. You know, that means he has a hunger, he has a desire, he wants to be better. He wants to play better, and most importantly, he wants this tournament. He wants this to be ticked off on the box. It's one that he hasn't got his hands on yet, but you can see his desire, and that's a good thing, really, because he's not happy with everything that he's achieved already in his very young career. He still wants to keep going on and kicking on, and that's a good thing as well. So we can look at it from both sides.
Yes, thank you, Ken. I think it's safe to say that the action is looking like we are making the final preparations before we begin our very first match of today, that being day number 3. But another big event that took place was the rematch between Ken and myself in ping pong. I was 1-0 down. It was our second match. I couldn't possibly lose a second time, could I? Oh, you silly man. Oh, no, you don't, you bastard. Sorry.
11-all.
I worked so hard to get that equal.
Give it away.
Oh no! Oh, I caught me off guard!
That's it. That's all she wrote.
That
fair and square. Fair and square. Mate, that was great. You know, normally I'd try and pretend I didn't try my best. I tried everything. And look at the difference. Sweaty man, fresh man.
Ken, are we going to go first to 3?
Absolutely.
It's going to be 3-0. It's going to be 3-0. It has been fun. It has been fun. When the cameras aren't there, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Right, we're now going to talk about the shot of the day. And I think you guys have voted. You chose out of the 4 shots, it had to be the exhibition masterclass that was Judd Trump on that final black. And I have to say...
What are you talking about? What about my forehand? Down the line.
or me just bottling it. But that black was something special.
Oh, it was class, wasn't it? I mean, we talked about how tight these pockets are. And he's not got on the black, he's knocked it on the cushion, that was careless. But he's come off the side cushion, he's hit the black absolutely perfect. And it's gone into the pocket. What a way to finish, absolutely brilliant. He's one of the best shot makers, and of course now he's one of the best entertainers that we have in the game. And it's great to see those shots, even for the players, you know, for the fans who are watching at home, it's just magnificent.
And that's why we love Ronnie O'Sullivan. That's why the crowd loves Ronnie, because he entertains, and it feels as though Judd is slowly getting into that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think he sort of understands that the people are watching, they love to see these flamboyant shots, and when the frame is over, do it. You know, Jimmy White used to do it all those years ago, Alex Higgins used to do it as well, and Judd Trump, he has the cue power, why not show it off?
Well, Neil Robertson did that, by the way, on day number 1, because he also asked you for the shot of the day on Monday. You chose the Neil Robertson long pot, and so the real deal Nick Teal spoke to Alan McManus to find out just how it was done.
Thanks, Radzi. Yes, I'm down in the arena with Alan McManus, and we've got our shot of the day from the first day set up on the table in front of us. It was Neil Robertson going into the mid-session. It was, in some ways, Alan, the difference between 3-1 and 2-all, and it's this great long brown that is the start of a really good clearance from Neil.
It was an incredible shot in the brown. I mean, he's got the blue just to the side of it, so he's basically stunning it in. Players would play this a bit different. A lot of players, middle of the cue ball and just aim on the point, and this is just off straight. But I think what most players would do is just play it with a trace of right-hand side, but still play it straight. Now, that being right-hand side, the cue ball will be spinning that way on its path down here, so that when it touches it, you're aiming straight on the brown, but the right-hand side that you're imparting just turns the brown over that way and goes slightly left. Brilliant piece of cueing. Good shot of the day.
It was, and actually the rest of the break was very good, wasn't it? The pink that he cut into the corner was brilliant as well. And at that stage of the match, the difference between 3-1 and 2-all, does the pressure play a little bit of a factor there for Neil?
Well, there was at that stage of the match. You know, as you say, the pink. I think it was a clever shot because he used the black, didn't he, as a sort of blocker, as an out ball. But the thing about why it was such a great shot with the cue ball back here, he's not got a lot of room to play with, so he's jacking up a little bit. He's got probably about 13 feet to cover, all told, going on the angle. And, you know, we know about his long game, so when he's knocking them in, everyone's in trouble, aren't they?
Absolutely. Thank you, Alan, for your insights. You say a great shot of the day from day 1 of the 888 Sport Champion of Champions.
Thank you very much, Nick. And Ken, as an immediate reaction, I've got to talk to you about angles, because I spent 2 weeks with him at the Crucible, and his snooker brain is off the charts.
It is, yeah. He's a big, I mean, apart from being a great player, and I've had so many battles with him over the years, a great tactician, of course, but he's a great sort of student and aficionado of the game as well. And cerebrally, he's probably one of the best ever. Himself, like John Higgins, you know, Mark Selby. So he understands the psychology of the game, and also the whole tactics, like the cat and mouse, you know, the part that I love about the game as well. So, but he's great to listen to, and it's great to hear his thoughts as well.
Well, hopefully we're going to hear more from Alan throughout the week, because when you choose shot of the day, Alan will hopefully be the one who gets to review it. But now it's time to go back to Nick Teal for more.
Yes, thank you, Radzi. I'm tableside with Paul Collier, a man who we've seen a lot of at the Champion of Champions over recent years, but not this year, Paul, because you've gone from refereeing in the middle of the bays at the table to a bit of more of a backstage role. Tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, a bit of a different role. It's I've been involved refereeing-wise since we restarted this event. I think it was 2013.
That's right.
But yeah, it was time for a change. I think we have a good team of referees, and it was time to give a few more people a chance. And I'm enjoying my role with working with World Snooker Tour and with Matchroom. You know, as a tournament director, it's a different perspective on things, but I'm still involved and I'm really enjoying it.
Absolutely. So, what does a tournament director do?
As little as I can get away with. No, it's all the planning, I suppose. It's a little bit more behind the scenes. When you're a referee, you sort of turn up and you're given your rota. These are the matches you're doing, you know, and different responsibilities. In the tournament director's role, you sort of plan a little bit more ahead. You're normally involved with the formatting, deciding when the matches go on. You do a rota for the referees. I mean, I'm responsible for booking the referees as well. So, yeah, it's all that side of things. It's more the admin.
And do you miss the white gloves?
I do. Yeah, I'm still doing a bit. I still enjoy it. I mean, the last match I refereed was the semi-final at the Crucible, so...
It's not a bad one to do.
No, I'm still getting involved in some of the big matches. I mean, there's no saying I'll never do this again. I might come back one day, but yeah, still enjoying it. Still looking forward to the next batch of matches I do.
So you think we might see you on the Champion of Champions actually at the table again one year?
Yeah, you never know. I've not retired from it. You know, it was just a change of role, so yeah, we'll see how things go.
And you say you work with ourselves at Matchroom and World Snooker throughout the year. Is that something that I guess it's a little bit different from what referees would normally do, that liaison almost between the officials and the promoters?
Yes, pretty much. I mean, as I said, a referee has a role. They turn up and, you know, they're pretty much told what to do. And really, you know, we're involved in telling people, you know, we're involved in, as you say, liaising is the big thing, you know, particularly, or more so much on the World Snooker events when we do formats with broadcasters. You know, we're more involved in picking the matches. Obviously, this event, there's only 15 matches and we know when they're going to go, so it all makes common sense. But, you know, you get 128 players at the start of a tournament and you've only got one televised table. You know, you have to look at who goes on where, and there's a lot more planning involved in those.
And from a player's point of view, are you kind of the head teacher here? If you're sent to the tournament director's office, it's not where you want to be?
Yeah, they're not always smiling when I walk into a room, put it that way. But no, it's, I mean, you know, the players know that if they've got any issues, they can always come to me. The referee at the end of the day is in sole charge. Once the players walk out in the arena, the referee's in charge of it, and they will deal with issues in a match. But anything the players aren't happy about, which, you know, is unusual because we know how to run these events and we know what they like, but they can always come to me.
And things are very different, of course, at the moment. For the last 6 months, we've been doing these events, mainly here at the Marshall Arena, behind closed doors. How's that changed things from a referee and a tournament director's point of view?
It's not changed a great deal because we're still playing tournaments with very similar formats. If anything, the refereeing side of things might be a little bit easier because you're not having to look in a crowd. You know, you're not looking for who's making a noise, who's moving around. You can dismiss those sorts of things and really focus on the table. But I mean, it's a lot less travelling for us. I mean, I like Milton Keynes is nearly a 3-hour drive for me, but you're going back and forth the same place. I mean, I've been in an airport since March, which is, I never thought that would happen while I was in this role, but yeah, and of course we've got a big change this year because we're at a different venue. You know, we've done the Rico for, well, ever since we started the event off, so we're coming somewhere different. It's all change.
Well, Paul, it's great to see you still involved with the events as well, even though everyone at home can't see you out on the table. We're seeing you day to day backstage, and now back up to Radzi.
Ken, it's lovely to see behind the scenes of what goes on. And the TD, he's a legend in these parts.
He is, Paul Collier, yeah. He's been, you know, refereeing and sort of assistant tournament director and now tournament director as well. He's a jack of all trades and he does it very, very well indeed. He's been involved in the game for, well, he must be best part of almost 30 years, and he does a great job. And he does a lot of work behind the scenes as well, all on computers and with the scoreboards and everything. You know, he's an absolute genius and a top referee as well.
As a player, how important is a referee, by the way? Because it's a side of things you don't necessarily get to see. You almost see them, you don't hear them.
Yeah. I think that's the important thing. The referee's got to be quick. You cannot see them, and you really don't need them that much apart from taking out the balls and seeing whether it's a free ball or stuff. That's all you really want to see of referees, and the best ones you very rarely see on camera, or they very rarely get in your way. You don't want them getting in your way as you're in a rhythm because you don't want that broken up. So they're the best ones for me.
I think part of the reason why Paul Collier is such a great TD is he is as hard as nails. You do not want to mess with Paul Collier. Now, though, for something slightly different, because you may remember that before we had our darts competition, 9 darts to score as many points as you can. The leader is Trump with 134. Up next is Mark Selby. Can he go one better? It's over to the jester from Leicester.
Ready, we? Or bed and breakfast. Tea. Like bullseye. That's it, is it? 9 darts, is that it? 113.
Not to be for the jester from Leicester. By the way, off camera, as soon as the cameras went off, Mark threw 3 darts, got a cheeky ton. So, but jester, if it's not in the 9, it doesn't count. Now though, we're going to look back at the action yesterday before we look forward to the action today. Ken, our predictions yesterday.
Okay, well I went for Trump against Bingham.
Yes.
Okay.
And I went for Bingham.
Okay.
And so with that in mind,
I'm one, that gives me...
well, I tell you what, let's leave it to the official scorer.
Okay, yeah.
You went Trump, our survey said. Good, good.
Okay.
I went Bingham, our survey said. No. Second match.
Second match I went for Sean Murphy against Dave Gilbert.
You went for Sean Murphy?
Yeah.
Our survey says. I went for Dave Gilbert, our survey says.
Ding.
Get in. One apiece.
Okay.
So in our head-to-head, you had Murphy and Trump.
Yeah, I had...
Only Trump played.
Yeah, I had Murphy.
Oh, you went Murphy! I'd forgotten that. Yes, you did.
Yeah, I did. I backed Murphy.
I went Gilbert Bingham.
And then you went Gilbert.
And I went Gilbert. And so with that in mind, our survey says none for both.
Yes.
So 1 point apiece.
1 point apiece. But you're still in the lead from the first day.
2-0 up the first day, so 3-1 overall.
Just keeping scores as well, eh?
Got to win something.
He has it wrote down somewhere.
After that ping pong, and he's on pride. So
Today, okay.
I'd say some tough action. Very first match.
Well, these best of sevens, you know, you have to get off to a good start. It's very, very tough. But today, I'm gonna go Selby against Brissell Selby.
Mark Selby. Oh. Okay, for the first time ever, I'm going to match you.
Really?
The jester from Leicester. He was playing so well in the Championship League snooker. Yeah. Seeing him in the back there, he looks confident. He's looking to do well here. I'm going to have to go.
So we're going to go for Selby. Okay, the next one is a lot tougher. Maguire and Wilson.
That is wide open.
Yeah.
You see, I'm going to go with the Warrior, just because that winning form, having won the Championship League snooker, he was brimming after that. His kids were pumped.
Yeah.
Bailey and Finlay. I think he wants another trophy. He's got to beat Maguire.
Okay, well because he beat me last week, I don't hold any grudges, so I'm going to go for Maguire. I think that's fair.
Yeah. Forgotten about it, mate. You've forgotten about it. We're
so
over
I'm going to go for Maguire and Selby, and I'm going to go for Selby at the end.
Which means we've got 1 match the same, 2 matches different. There's a lot on this, but make sure you watch the action regardless. It's live on ITV4 at 12:45 and 6:45 this evening. It's not to be missed. See you then.
Bye-bye.